if you look at these kind of pictures in Victoria, port at this moment looks like still very empty. So basically, I think the tourism and reopening the border with mainland China is quite critical for the service sector in Hong Kong. And given that the COVID cases in both mainland and Hong Kong has been largely contained, I think that's at least pave ways for further kind of at least in the first stage of reopening in the coming quarters. But of course, there are also some news that maybe before the Chinese New Year, that will be slightly difficult. But I think, at least there is a lot of hope that the border will be opened in the coming quarters or coming quarters. Yeah.
Okay, housing always a focus, housing affordability in this city. What do you expect the impact to be here? What kind of measures could she potentially announce? And then to follow on from that, we've heard from the Fed about half of the Fed governors expect an interest rate increase next year. So what will that impact be on Hong Kong, given that our monetary policy follows that of the Federal Reserve?
Well, I think, to answer your first question first, second question first, which is that, basically there is a likelihood the Fed could raise interest rate maybe next year or early 2023. So basically for Hong Kong, this means that, the HKMA will follow suit. Basically means that the interest rate will be hiked maybe in the coming years. But I think, it's not really a big kind of concerns for the economy, given that, basically the Fed hike will be relatively gradual and will be moderate as expected at this moment. I think regarding the housing market, that's actually a very, very critical issue for Hong Kongers at this moment. Basically, I think that, for the government, what has been hinted is that they will try to increase the supply of the public housing as well as the private housing in the coming years. So I think, the land supply could be one of the most important topics in Carrie Lam's speech today. So I think, basically the idea is that the government will try to, significantly increase the land and housing supply in the next term.